Hello again. Today we're back to our worksheet from after the warm up. And so in your packet, it might actually come right before the warm up, but you can see it's about GPA and IQ. And so what we want to know is how does the GPA affect the IQ? And so what we've got here are we have 5 students that requested that their counselors update their transcripts for them: Adam, Bernard, Christy, Deja, and Eldon. And so they have some IQ scores, but they've all been mixed up, and the counselors don't know which score goes with which student. And so they're going to predict the IQ for each student. And so what we have is 3 different counselors with 3 different approaches. So first, there's the new guy, Adam. He's not named Adam, just the new guy, sorry. So he's so nervous about being wrong, he just decides to go with the average IQ. So if you find the average of these 5 values right here, you'll get 103. And he decides he'll just say everyone's IQ is 103. Go with the average route. That's why I filled those in 103. Counselor number 2, she's been there a while. I'm assuming she. And so she says that, it says she anyway, right here. And so she says that she thinks that the GPA might help us to predict the IQ. So she's going to go with that. So she finds all of their GPAs for the 5 students, and then she uses that to predict their IQs. And so that's what I filled into this table. And then what the truth seeker decides to do, the last counselor, is he just asks them, hey, what's your IQ? And so he gets their IQs from them, actually. And we saw their GPA because there might be a relationship there. So what we're going to do now is go to the next page. And what we're going to explore is Counselor 1 and Counselor 2 each use a different approach. We want to see which one is more accurate. And so Counselor 1 was the guy who just used the average IQ for every prediction. And what you can see is that he predicted everyone have an IQ of 103, and we want to see how far off each prediction was. So for Adam, he was 18 off. For Bernard, he was 8, too high. Christy, he was 7, too low. Deja was 2, too low. And Eldon was 17, too low. And so what we do is we find the difference. That's where these negative 18, negative 8, 7. And then, in AP Stats, we don't like to have negative stuff. And so we square all of those. And so that is what is going to be the main thing, sum of squared errors. That means we added up all of the, and if we want to put a formula to that, it will be the sum of each y minus its predicted y, predicted y with a hat squared. So that's how you can apply a formula to that. Now we do the same exact thing with the veteran who had used a line of best fit for every prediction, and so we get these values. When we add all those up, we get 89.89. And so that is much less. There's a lot less error with that smaller number. So I'm going to write that. Less error for the veteran. When that number is smaller, that means there's less error. And so we can say that she definitely did better. Now, calculate the percentage improvement of the sum of squared errors from Guidance 1 to Guidance 2. So Guidance Counselor 1 was 640.11 units better than Guidance Counselor 2. And the improvement is, out of all of the errors from Guidance Counselor 2, Guidance Counselor 1 was 87.7% better. And so we'll get to that number in a little bit. We can also find each counselor's typical error. And so we're going to just focus on counselor number 2. We're going to turn her sum of squared errors into the average error. And so average is when we have to divide by the sample size. That's where that 5 came from. And then we don't care about squared errors, so we square root it. And that's where we get 4.24. All right, so let's think about this in terms of our calculator and what it can do for us and some of the stuff that we will be able to find. And so we're going to find the correlation, the coefficient of determination, and the standard deviation of the residuals with the calculator. So in my calculator, I went ahead, put that in. You should have already done that too. So I have it in L1 and L2, our GPA and our actual.